The Black Lives Matter movement has sparked momentum to point out racial injustices in every aspect of life, including in pop culture.
And some are quick to point out the ugly bias in entertainment, where black people are still underrepresented and marginalized.
So Denver 7 is going 360, exploring the racial equity gap in entertainment and how critics suggest the industry could change.
You know their faces.
It's not cool to not show up.
And their work. Hollywood A-listers on the big screen, TV, and streaming. But have you ever thought about who you're not seeing?
The number of black actors, writers, directors is still pretty limited given the current scope and climate. While there have been many strides, there's a long way to go.
Let's start this 360 with April Alexander, an associate professor of psychology at the University of Denver, who says don't confuse tokenization of blacks in films.
I'm talking about a shrimp catching, but
with true representation.
So you often have the sassy black friend. Let's have people who are telling the same stories as the majority.
Inciting large-scale arrests and sympathy marches.
Films like Selma, 13th, and A Wrinkle in Time have earned director Ava DuVernay critical acclaim.
Who's doing things right? Probably people who are trying to maintain some control over their creative output.
Lisa Kennedy is a freelance entertainment writer and critic for Variety magazine and the Denver Post.
There's much money in there. What are you trying to do?
She sees Spike Lee as another gold standard.
I used to say the thing I loved most about Spike Lee wasn't just how much I loved some of the movies like Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X, but how he hired costume designers and production designers and cinematographers, all those things that you actually have to have.
If you can't change the institutions like the studios,
We built the path.
Kennedy says you can build others within it.
And then, all of a sudden everybody wants to sort of join your party because your party looks hotter, cooler, more connected, and more visionary.
They're not just there as scenery for white storylines.
Tanya Cook is a sociology professor at Community College of Aurora and says bias in entertainment also still extends to women and certainly the LGBTQ population.
Representation is allowing that person to be a fully realized individual who has complexity. We need women, black women writers, directors, queer black women writers, directors.
That was the case in Ryan Murphy's Pose.
He's making sure he is centering other producers of color, other black directors. When you have Janet Mock, a trans woman of color, directing Pose, you're going to get that representation. For people who aren't exposed to that culture or climate, they might have so many myths, stereotypes, or beliefs about it just because they didn't have exposure. He puts a lot of investment into research.
The investment is certainly part of the problem. While many studios say they're pumping out diverse content, a lot of it goes straight to DVD.
It's absolutely another form of what I would say is structural discrimination.
Jordan Peele, director and writer of comedy and horror genres like Get Out, is one who has managed to buck the trend of straight to DVD.
And we just have to get creative.
At the network level, Shonda Rhimes has helped transform ABC and Denver 7 primetime programming, starting with Grey's Anatomy, then How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, and others. Rhimes was even named one of Time Magazine's 100 people who helped shape the world.
I think that we've seen television and streaming do a lot better than big screen. Lots of people who are hip love streaming because there's such interesting, edgy stuff on it.
I have to follow my heart.
But critics say reality shows like The Bachelor and Bachelorette are still missing the mark.
For the first time ever, he is black.
Only after 24 seasons have producers finally announced a black bachelor.
They're having their come to Jesus moment where they're like, oh my God, we are terrible when it comes to race. That's really working hard to make a fast food restaurant into gourmet dining or something.
The comics and animated films have been ahead of the game.
I waited my entire life for this.
With Black Panther and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
The core message of it was anyone could wear a mask, so anyone could be a hero.
Whether Elsa is, just non-straight of some identity, or is asexual, or is just happy being on her own, that should be represented.
No one else was in the room where it happened.
And while Broadway shows like Hamilton are a hit, April Alexander says the diverse cast doesn't discount the fact that it's still a story about a white man.
Why are we having a diverse cast with a story that does marginalize African-American communities?
Most experts agree we're now in an interesting place with the Black Lives Matter movement, where black lives might really, truly matter in Hollywood.
It's a kind of paradigm shift.
Whose stories are we still not telling?
Demographics of our society are shifting.
But we've been in interesting places before, and then they drop off. And I think that that's part of the anxiety. And this moment feels different.
There's no wood to be had.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
We're always looking to expand our reporting with more perspectives, so please send us your thoughts via email. The address is 360@thedenverchannel.com.